And tonight on the Daily Wrap, 24 hours later, we now know the names of the 4 Marines killed in yesterday's attacks in Tennessee. We'll talk to former NYPD Commissioner Bernard Kerik about what happened and what's to expect in the coming days. Also, Steve Malzberg joins us to discuss the war with radical Islam. And Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, 2 men cut from the same cloth? This is the Daily Wrap, live from New York City. And welcome to the Daily Wrap, everybody. I'm Joe Concha, joined by my co-host Rick Unger. Good to see you on this Friday.
Good to be here. A little better mood than yesterday. Tough day.
Yeah, it was a very tough day indeed.
Today we're still trying to sort it all out.
Among other things that we may talk about.
It's going surprisingly slowly, it seems to me, this figuring out what happened and why.
Considering there's a cadre of FBI agents
and we all
right
think
now.
We have a pretty darn good idea, but we're just not getting the final word on it.
Well, measure twice, cut once, as they say.
Yeah.
Yes. And to Mr. Unger's right, former Navy SEAL, former FBI specialist, and president of Continued Services, Jonathan Gilliam is back. Thanks, John, for joining us.
Good to be here.
And finally, Forbes.com columnist and Emmy winner, he is Bill Tucker. Bill?
Thanks. Good to be
accomplished. Welcome, everybody. Let's get right to the Daily Download. And 24 hours ago, Mohammed Youssef Abdulaziz attacked 2 military facilities in Chattanooga, killing 4 Marines. 40-year-old gunnery sergeant Thomas J. Sullivan, 21-year-old Lance Corporal Skip Wells, 27-year-old Sergeant Carson Holmquist, and 37-year-old Staff Sergeant David Wyatt. Both Sergeant Holmquist and Staff Sergeant Wyatt leave behind widows and young children. Investigators are searching for a motive, but believe this might have been an ISIS-inspired event. Today, the U.S. Attorney for Eastern Tennessee, Bill Killian, says they are treating this shooting as an act of terror.
The active shooter situation is being treated as a terrorism investigation. It is being led by the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, and we will continue to investigate it as an act of terrorism until the proof shows us otherwise.
Let's bring in Bernard Kerik. He was the former NYPD police commissioner and now CEO and founder of the Kerik Group, LLC. Bernie, you've been all too close to acts of terrorism during your career, including overseeing the NYPD during 9/11, obviously. Are you surprised that this early in the investigation that they're calling the shooting terrorism until proved otherwise?
No, I don't think so, based on what they know already. And listen, you have to look at the history of what's happened in this country since September 11th, 2001. We've had in excess of 70 attempted attacks or attacks on the homeland, many inspired by ISIS or Al-Qaeda. In this situation, it's probably going to be the same, but no one should be surprised if it is. You know, they continue to say that they're coming. They continue to say that they want these lone wolf attacks. They inspire and motivate others to do them. Nobody should be surprised if that's the case.
Bernie, it's Rick Unger. You know, I'm curious. The one thing that I've seen that would lead one to believe that there's a connection here with ISIL was that tweet that seemed to show up from an ISIS-related Twitter account yesterday about 15 minutes before with a threatening tone and saying, you know, hashtag Chattanooga.
Right.
Are you aware of anything that's been disclosed today? Because I haven't heard any more. You have better contacts that would suggest they're finding more connections between this guy and ISIL.
No, there's nothing out there yet that's been released, but I'm sure that the FBI is, you know, they're on it. It seems extremely coincidental. If it had nothing to do with this, I probably think it did. You know, but it's going to take a little time for them to get through this guy's computers, get through his family, you know, look at his associates, look at those weapons, where the weapons came from, the ammunition. You know, this investigation is only just beginning, and it's going to take a little while to you know, feather it all out.
Bernie, since 2009, 31 people have died during attacks on military facilities in the U.S. At what point do we decide to start arming these people, even at recruiting centers for that matter, because they just seem to be sitting ducks at this point?
Well, listen, I just wrote something on this. I think our military installations, both soft and hard, should be armed, and our military servicemen and women and their families should be able to protect themselves. Walk into a Social Security office anywhere in this country, and there will be an armed guard at the door. There will be bulletproof windows or glass partitions between the tellers in the Social Security office and the people coming to the office, for service. That's a Social Security office. ISIS isn't threatening them publicly over the internet. They're not calling for their heads. You know what? Our military, our police personnel, local, state, federal, they are continued targets of this threat, and they need to be in a position to protect themselves. I think our men and women on these military bases should be armed and placed in a capacity where they can respond to protect their families and others if need be.
Bernardo, this is Jonathan Gillum, your good friend here. I just wanted to I wanted to ask you a question specifically for you and your experience. As you said a minute ago, ISIS has told us that they want to target us, that they're coming here. I mean, the reality is, and you know this just as well, if not better than anybody, fundamental Islam has been here, is targeting us, and we can almost for sure say that regardless of whether this guy was connected to ISIS or not, he's almost 100% positively connected to fundamental Islam and that part of the movement. So what I want to hear from you is that, you were there after 9/11, the different changes that happened at One Police Plaza for NYPD. How did the physical security change? How did the mindset change, and how could that be adapted to the DOD? Because they definitely need to take a big learning lesson from the NYPD, because their soft targets in the DOD are out of control.
But you know what, John? All you have to do is take a ride in southern Manhattan, and most of the barriers that are up today, I put in the aftermath of the attacks on the towers and in New York City. You can't get nowhere near the Pentagon. You can't get nowhere near some of the hardened targets in the military. But you still have bases in this country that are open bases. You have recruitment centers and recruitment stations that have absolutely no security. Their front windows aren't even, they're not bulletproof. We have to really take a step back, look at the threats we face, look at the threats we faced over the last 14 years, and the increasing threat, the increasing constant threat that we're under, and come to the realization this may not be a conventional war that we're fighting. We're not fighting a state, but we definitely are fighting an enemy that is here in this country. James Comey, the director of the FBI, has said it on numerous occasions. They're looking at several hundreds, if not thousands, of people in this country and coming into this country that we have to be concerned with. Well, it's time to harden those targets, make sure our military personnel, our law enforcement personnel are protected.
Barney, Bill Tucker here in New York. Thanks for being on with us. I'm not a fatalist by any stretch of the imagination, and you hinted at this in your answer. What can we really do to stop these people? This is a theocratic movement. This isn't kill and get out. These are people who kill and will be killed. We got about 30 seconds, so I ask you a quick question, but a long answer. Sorry.
I've talked about this for years. Here's the problem. This isn't a diplomatic solution.
Right.
There's no negotiating here. They're going to kill us, or we're going to kill them. It's one or the other. And I think the big part of this is the educating the American the psyche. There are a lot of people out there, they believe we can negotiate, we can be diplomatic, we can talk to them. It's not happening. So the sooner we learn that, we come to that realization, the better off we're going to be.
Bernard Kerik, former NYPD commissioner, thanks so much for joining us. Obviously, no better person to have on about this than you tonight, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Okay. Rick, final thought.
When we come back, I hope we can talk a little bit more, because there's a part of this in protecting these soft targets and the military guys who live there that we're not addressing. What happens in small towns where they're all just walking the streets because the towns are based on the bases. I want to talk about that.
Sure. Okay, and we will do so. More on the shooting in Chattanooga with our panel after the break. This is the Daily Wrap. Do not go anywhere.
Did you know criminals use scanners like this to steal credit card information right out of thin air? It's called skimming, and it can happen anywhere to anyone, including you. But now these wireless pickpockets can be stopped with CardLock. It's like a portable bank vault for your credit cards. Simply slide your credit or debit card into CardLock, then put it back in your wallet. Now it's virtually impossible for anyone to steal your information. Look, thieves can scan your bank information from your purse or pocket when you walk by. It takes just a second to get your name, address, social security number, and more. Then they can steal your identity, ruin your credit, even empty your bank account. But slip your credit cards into CardLock, and it protects you from credit card fraud and identity theft. Frequency blocking polymers are woven right into the threads of the CardLock. They're light as a feather and soft as silk, yet strong and secure, like an armored car for your card, and they fit easily in your purse. Watch, without CardLock, my credit card number is easily read. There it is. But when I slide it in CardLock, the number is blocked. It really works.
I had my identity stolen, and it took years to fix my credit. If I had just used CardBlock, it would have saved me the nightmare.
My credit card was scanned and they charged me over $1,000 that day. It's just so easy to prevent with CardLock, you'd be a fool not to.
Don't be a willing victim when it's so easy to stop with CardLock. Call and get 2 CardLocks for just $10, each made in the USA with our stylish leather look. But wait, order now and we'll send you 2 more absolutely free. And there's more. All of today's orders get shipped to you for free. That's right, free shipping and handling. Get CardLock for just $10. Call now.
Call 1-800-695-0683 to get your CardLock security sleeves. They're not sold in stores, so call now or go to getcardlock.com. So call 1-800-695-0683. That's 1-800-695-0683. Don't miss out. Call now.
This is an important medical announcement for those prescribed the prescription blood thinner medication Xarelto. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died from serious internal bleeding, including bleeding of the brain or gastrointestinal system after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call Xarelto Help Now for a free confidential consultation. Time may be limited to file a claim, so don't delay. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. Xarelto has been linked to an increased risk of severe internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, stroke, heart attack, and even death. If you or a loved one experience severe internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died as a result of taking Xarelto, call Xarelto Help Now. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. Get the help you deserve. You won't pay a thing until your case is settled. Call Xarelto Help Now today.
Please call 800-390-0510. That is 800-390-0510.
We're all pretty shocked. We were in the same grades, had a lot of the same classes, and a lot of the same friends. Everyone is shocked. I mean, we're just blown away, to be honest. Really, I just can't believe it, really.
I don't have to ask you. And welcome back to Daily Wrap. I'm Joe Concha, joined by my co-host, Rick Unger. And filling out the panel tonight, Jonathan Gilliam and Bill Tucker. That was a friend of shooter Mohammed Youssef Abdulaziz. It has been reported there was nothing to indicate that Abdulaziz would end up being a terrorist. Okay, Jonathan, help us figure this kid out. Well liked in school, got an engineering degree from UT, sure. University of Tennessee. Not exactly the type of person that the FBI would be profiling.
Somebody that they should be profiling, because he, first of all, put in his yearbook something about his name being national security, or causing a national security scare. That kind of leads you to believe that his mind is at least thinking, even though it's a joke. His father, although cleared, was involved financially with a terrorist investigation. And this guy is model American. Now, if I was going to input an operative into a country, I would want them to go in and excel in that country and not be noticed. Either be completely unnoticed or be somebody who's the model citizen, which this guy is. Then he develops.
But he came as a child. He wasn't likely inputted.
He came as a child. Yes, exactly right. He came, but
born in Kuwait in 1990 and then came.
But we don't know where these fingers of radicalization reached in and touched him, because he developed a taste for MMA, very similar to what the Boston bomber, the Sarnoff brother, was doing. Also similar to some of the 9/11 warriors were all into fighting and martial arts. Then you see a guy who goes abroad and comes back and is different. See, can the FBI profile people like that? Probably not. But you know who can? Muslims can. Muslims can look inside their community and say, and even his friends were saying that he went abroad to Jordan, came back, and was just different. Now, when that person then grows a beard and starts looking at different things on his computer, which I'm sure they're going to find,
and writing a blog,
people should take notice. And I'm here to inform the Muslim community. It is starting to be a noticed problem. It's been a problem. It's beginning to be a problem that the American people are aware of. You cannot sit back and say, don't judge me, if you're not going to step up to the plate and make a difference.
Nothing beats good intelligence, particularly from the Muslim community. That's, as Jonathan says,
actually,
that's the whole key.
Jonathan makes some, for once, good points. No, you do. You make some. You really do. You make some very good points there. That is probably the way.
And it's not just major cities anymore that have to be vigilant.
And also, I mean, this guy is, as Jonathan's saying, he's a good example. He comes here as a kid. He behaves a certain way. He's popular. Everybody knows him. And then suddenly he goes away. He comes back, and all of his friends notice he's different.
Yes.
That is a clue. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. He grows a beard. You know, you can see something. Now, I can understand how you don't want to rat your friend out to the FBI, but you know what you can do? You can go to your local
law enforcement
or place of worship and tell the imam there who may have that relationship.
My question, though, Jonathan, and to everybody on the panel is why is the Muslim community not woken up to this fact that they have a responsibility, because it is beginning to damage the image of the religion, and it maybe is unfairly.
But be fair. There's not that many people yet that it's happened more than we like, to be sure. But it's not like every day in every community it's happening.
No, but
so you're not really.
We put up that timeline of attacks on military bases.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is you have to put it in real life. So you have a whole community here, a Muslim community. They don't know him. A couple of his friends know him.
That's fair. Okay, that's true.
So they're the ones, and I understand how tough that can be. Nobody wants to rat out their friend, even if you have suspicions. But I think what Jonathan's saying, and I have to agree, it's getting to a crisis point where there has to be a mechanism, and whether you set that up through the mosque or whatever, there needs to be a mechanism when your friend comes back from a trip and he or she is acting differently.
And listen, we're not wanting people to necessarily go out and rat on all their friends or look at them and go, you're acting weird. But listen, that's not normal. What happened to him fits a profile of somebody who is becoming radicalized. And, there's a famous Ronald Reagan speech where he talks about an individual, the American individual that went over and fought and was killed, Martin Treptow, who wrote this poem. And in that poem he said, I'm going to act as though the entire outcome of this war depends on me. That's the way America needs to start looking at these things. When you see something wrong, this saying that we keep saying, see something, say something. It's not just if you see a bag sit down. If you have a friend that you care about, goes overseas and comes back and is changed, there is a good chance that that person has been infected by fundamental Islam.
And you do add something again that's good. It's not just a question of ratting out your friend. You are probably saving your friend's life.
That's what the law enforcement officer in Boston did. He saved his son's life.
Before 9/11 obviously was about going after big American symbolic buildings like World Trade Center or like the Pentagon. Now it's more about soft targets, John. Why don't you tell us about that?
So soft targets, let me just put this up here. I can just say it. So let's see if we can even see where we are there. So critical areas, critical times, and avenues of approach. Now, if you go to an arena, for instance, and let's say this is an arena, all right, and you're going to go to this where you're going to go see a football game, all right? So here you go. So you're going to go see a football game. Now, there's different gates here that you're going to enter. Everybody flows into these. This area is thought to be a large soft target. But think about this. When you come out of a concert or a football game or a baseball game, everybody comes out at the same time in the same areas, and they create a soft target. In front of Penn Station, there will be 10,000 people
at any time.
At any time after a concert. That's a critical area. That's a critical time. And the avenues approach, you have to look around and say, where would I attack me? That's what they do. And that's why I cannot understand why the DOD is not looking at places like reserve centers, at recruitment centers, and saying, how do we harden these soft targets?
I have a feeling they are. And an executive order would be good right now, maybe to just arm everybody right now. Anyway, we're going to talk to Steve Malzberg next on the war on radical Islam. Stay tuned.
Do you need to lose weight? Then you must listen to this. This is fat. This is water. The problem with many diets, though, is that in the beginning you think you're losing fat when you're really just losing water. That's where Lipozene is different. It's clinically proven to help you lose fat. How much fat? For every pound of weight you lose with Lipozene, 78% is pure body fat. Not water, fat. And pure body fat is exactly what these people lost with Lipozene. These are real people with real results. And now, for only $29.95, you can join the countless people who have lost weight with Lipozene. But wait, call right now and we'll double your order absolutely free. Plus, we'll even pay for your shipping.
Call 1-800-303-2095.
Lipozene has now sold over 25 million bottles. That's because Lipozene really works. And to prove it, we conducted our very own clinical study, where we took 2 groups of people and gave only one group Lipozene. Neither group was asked to diet or exercise. The results? The group taking Lipozene lost over 400% more weight. But here's where it gets even more exciting. 78% of the weight they lost was pure body fat, not water, fat. And now for only $29.95, you can join the countless people who have lost weight with Lipozene. Lipozene is guaranteed to help you lose weight or your money back. But wait, call right now and we'll double your order absolutely free. Plus, we'll even pay for your shipping. But that's still not all. To celebrate selling over 25 million bottles of Lipozene, we'll give you a free bottle of Metabo Up with your order. That's a $20 value free. But you must call right now because this exclusive free offer is not available in stores. What about you? Are you ready to be the next Lipozene success story?
To order your Lipozene, call 1-800-303-2095. That's 1-800-303-2095. Call or order online now.
Do you take your eyes off the road when you get a phone call? Or when you take a turn, does your phone take a fall? Then you need the incredible Clever Grip by Bell & Howell, the new smartphone clip with a super strong grip. No more fumbling for your phone and looking away from the road. Clever Grip holds your phone at eye level without blocking your vision. And the 360-degree pivoting head rotates for easy viewing. Perfect for driving with GPS.
Take next left.
Streaming your music.
Hello?
Or hands-free calling.
I'm using my new Clever Grip.
Clever Grip fits any style air vent, and the spring-loaded clamp holds everything tight, from the smallest flip phones to the largest smartphone. Those other mounts obstruct your vision, are hard to reach, and eventually lose suction. They never hold. But Clever Grip mounts at the perfect height, just like your car's most important gauges. You get a clear view of the road and easy access to all your phone's functions. Even this heavy brick is no match for Clever Grip. It works with your favorite phone cases and those bulky battery packs. It's great for passengers watching videos. And Clever Grip goes from the car to the house. And now you have an instant stand in the palm of your hand. It's the ideal stand for people who travel. It's the portable clip with the amazing grip. Call and order your Clever Grip by Bell & Howell today for just $14.95. Available only through this special TV offer. But wait, if you call right now, we'll give you a second Clever Grip free. Just pay separate processing. Perfect for every driver in the family. We guarantee you'll love it or your money back. So don't delay. Get Clever Grip today.
To get your Clever Grip for only $14.95 and get a second one free, call 1-800-552-6148 or go to buyclevergrip.com. That's 1-800-552-6148. Order yours today.
Newsmax comes to Primetime TV. Join the conversation weeknights starting at 7 p.m. only on Newsmax TV.
We're building primetime around you.
Newsmax Prime with J.D. Hayworth tonight at 8 p.m.
And welcome back to Daily Wrap. We were talking about yesterday's shooting in Chattanooga. Jonathan Billard taking a quick break, but right now we're joined by the host of the Steve Malzberg Show. He is king of the county. Mr. Malzberg. Interesting seeing you there in that seat.
It is interesting sitting in this seat, yes.
I'm the master of this domain.
You are, and I'll be in your domain at right after this show at 7 p.m. Eastern.
At 7 o'clock. I'll keep it warm for you.
Thank you.
So, Steve, I wanted to get your thoughts on something that happened at the White House yesterday. During the press briefing, Josh Earnest debuted what we'll call a prop. Take a look.
Welcome to the Friday briefing. It's finally Friday. It's been a very interesting and even historic week here at the White House. So I've decided today to pull a little page from a strategy that has been employed very effectively by some of our cable news colleagues here, that in addition to the regularly scheduled programming, we'll have a little bit of a crawl across the bottom with some additional information that can supplement your understanding of some of the arguments that are being made as it relates to the historic Iran agreement that was announced today. So,
you expected him to say TGIF, right? And we got the prop, and everyone knew the first question would be on the terrorist shooting in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he's downright giddy. I'm not saying that Josh Earnest doesn't care about what happened, but the optics are horrible here, and this is insane.
No, it's insane, it's purposely done, and it's who they are. It echoes the president's shrug-it-off nature of his condolences in reaction yesterday, and it also harkens me back to the president's reaction to Fort Hood. The president came out on that day at an event, a Native American event at the White House or somewhere, and he gave shout-outs to Indian chiefs in the audience. So he was shout out. After 2.5 minutes, he said, "Oh, and I want to acknowledge what happened at Fort Hood." Same jolly kind of nature that Josh Earnest is going through here at the White House. You're picking today to put up these stupid screens that are promoting the fact that certain newspapers are in agreement with the Iran deal? Are you crazy?
And the Iran deal was much earlier in the week. Yeah. They could have waited till Monday to do this.
Listen, you know, we all know that I tend to be supportive of this administration, but we also know that I tend to criticize them a fair amount on how poor they are at communications. I have to agree. I mean, I'm glad to see those newspapers are supporting this deal and all, but you're right. Nobody's in the mood for this today. There's nothing funny in the world today. You know, these terrible things happen. You don't get over it, and you shouldn't get over it in 24 hours. I mean, this is what should be on our mind.
At least if you're going to debut the screen, maybe put the photos of the four Marines that lost their lives.
Pick another day.
And by the way, those newspapers are now going to get tax-exempt status.
I doubt it.
Well, let's talk about radicalized Islam in America. The White House has tried downplaying it. Even Josh Earnest today at the White House tried to downplay the incident. How big of a problem do we have in America with radical followers of Islam? In other words, most likely this shooter wasn't in Syria, wasn't trained and then sent back.
But he was in Jordan for 7 months last year.
Yeah. He was in Jordan.
Well,
so
he came from Kuwait, he went to Jordan. But here's the deal. All we have to do is listen to the FBI director. The FBI director said the other day, I don't know how much longer I could keep us safe. ISIS is spreading. ISIS's influence is spreading. There are currently active investigations in every state in the union, all 50 states related to ISIS. So just listen to our own FBI director, who is basically sitting there saying, I can't do this anymore. So we're in trouble.
And I can't blame him for saying that, because all you need is a computer and access to social media, and that's how you can get radicalized.
And you have to put in the context of what he was talking about, which is looking for that backdoor key so he can get communications, which, by the way, you'll like this, I happen to agree with him on. The government should be able to do that because this is a real issue. I do like to point out, though, when you have the opportunity, while we are correctly talking about concerns about terrorism in our country today, there's a story out that gives you some hope and shows a different face. There's a group of American Muslims that set a goal of $100,000 cash to raise to help the black churches that have been burnt out. There's been a rash of them. The media hasn't covered it as well as they should have. Some we think are arson. And they've raised $90,000 of that. So
that's good, but I'd rather
see
see them or another 100 try to rat out potential ISIS members in the Muslim community.
I agree with that too.
You know,
but I want to give them credit where credit's due.
As you should. In Chattanooga, the largest Islamic group there also denounced the shooting. So, but I want to hear more from Islamic countries, from Muslim countries.
How about the President of the United States?
Or the President of the United States, that matters.
He talked about it yesterday.
He never said terror. He never said terrorist attack. He never said Islam. He never said anything.
See, here's where we got to be careful. if we find out that that's what it is, and I think all three of us agree that's what we're going to find out.
The president knew at that point it was.
No.
He knew the name of the guy.
That doesn't mean he's a terrorist.
Oh, come
See, this is where you get in trouble. Just because that's his name doesn't mean he's a terrorist. That's not America. That's not the way we function. When we and if we prove that he is, and as I said, I think all three of us would agree, there's a reasonably good likelihood of that, that's when the president
Yet we knew the
should say it.
Confederate flag was responsible for the murders. How did we know that? Did we ask the guy?
It's apples and oranges.
No, it is
It's
not
fair.
apples and oranges. We
It's
knew that
apples and
immediately. Right, all they're trying to do now, first of all, you know how we eradicate ISIS influence here? Is eradicate ISIS. Kill them. Beat them.
You know,
now.
I'm okay with that. But we don't even know that this guy, even if it was terrorism, was working with ISIS.
No, but the ISIS threat exists, yeah.
Steve, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We'll see
Great
you
to
at
be
7
here,
o'clock.
guys.
Appreciate
Should
it.
do this more
More
often.
Daily Wrap in just a moment.
Come in early.
Hi, I'm Ron Paul. I spent 22 years in Congress, and today I'm back in Washington to issue an important warning. I believe a major financial crisis greater than the one from 2008 is fast approaching because our government has made a series of disastrous monetary decisions over the past few years. If I'm right, the way you live, work, travel, retire, and invest will change. Stocks and bonds will crash. The savings of millions could be wiped out. You can't rely on Washington to help you. Get the facts and take the necessary steps to protect yourself and your family. The best place to start is the free website below. You'll find a short presentation I've put together with one of the leading financial research firms in America. It details both the problem and the important steps to take. I strongly encourage you to check out the website below. I guarantee it will be worth your time.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you are on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-898-0186. That's 855-898-0186. Again, 855-898-0186. That's 855-898-0186.
Sarah leads a global conference call from the comfort of her bed. Tom's toll-free number and professional greeting make his home office sound like a Fortune 500 company. Jeremy routes his business calls to coworkers so he can see his son's championship game. Every day, people just like you save time, money, and improve their lives by using eVoice to answer, route, and manage their business calls. What will you do with eVoice today? Go to eVoice.com.
Do you own mutual funds? You may be paying fees and costs of up to 5% and not even know it. Fisher Investments isn't a mutual fund, and we don't have hidden fees. Do you own an annuity? Your broker may have made a commission of 8% or more when he sold it to you. Are you sure he had your best interests in mind? At Fisher Investments, we're not brokers, and we don't earn commissions on trades or by selling you products. With our model, as your portfolio grows, we grow.
To learn more about the Fisher Investments difference, call the number on your screen now. We'll send you our free DVD, Investing Secrets for 2015, and our special report, The 8 Biggest Mistakes Investors Make. Plus, call us today and get a free 1-year subscription to Fisher Investments Stock Market Outlook with insights from our company founder and respected market forecaster, Ken Fisher. Be prepared in 2015. Call now 1-800-780-3800. 1-800-780-3800.
And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Well, before we get going here, I want to tell you about a great promotion, tremendous promotion, outstanding promotion that we have going on here at Newsmax. And we want to send one lucky couple on a 7-day Silver Sea cruise to the Caribbean this winter. Obviously, Rick, a luxury cruise on the Silver Wind is a trip of a lifetime. That looks like the yacht that you own, actually, so you're used to going on one of those. To win, you need to enter our sweepstakes. Visit newsmax.com/sweepstakes. That's newsmax.com/sweepstakes to enter. Okay. Are Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump the same person? Hear me out. David Cantonese, he's over at U.S. World and News Report, still around, that's right, wrote about this idea today in his op-ed, Straight Talk on Steroids, pointing out that while the two share slightly different ideals, they go about delivering their messages in the same way, and they both seem to be tapping into voter anger, with Sanders focusing on unemployment and Trump focusing on immigration. They're both considered long shots, even laughed at by the pundits, but are now soaring in the polls while drawing huge crowds at every event they have. Their loud, brash, unfiltered, candid style of speaking that seems to make their colleagues cringe is what the public seems to love about them most. Bill Tucker, you mentioned this same idea earlier last week. You've been vindicated by U.S. News and World Report. Congratulations.
I feel so justified. No, that's exactly what it is. People want to hear their politicians be raw. They want them to tap into some anger. They're tired of this measured, careful response. Give me what you think, even if it's weird, even if it's crazy, especially if it gets you beat up by mainstream media. Put it out there, and it's going to tap into a root. My question, and I mentioned this to you, is it's really early days. How long can you ride a wave of anger? Can you make that anger last?
483 days. Jonathan, these guys should be right up your alley because you don't like politicians, you don't like generic people, you want leaders. They seem to lead in terms of acting on the courage of their convictions, right? So
it's
who are you voting for, Bernie or Trump?
It's also, well, I would never vote for Bernie, but it's very interesting because the people who say that there's no way they can win are Republicans and the Democrats. I'm talking about the politicians. They keep saying this. Well, there's no way they can't do this, they can't do that. But the fact is, you know, you remember how we were joking before when I was on the show about how people write me on Twitter or Facebook saying you should run for president. That's because I come on, or when I'm on the radio on Sirius, I just say the truth about these things. I talk about what the people are angry about. That's what they do. It's no like somebody all of a sudden they realize this secret formula. They just simply say what most people want to hear. That's
it's what before one of them does.
Have we ever had a bald, bearded president before?
I don't think so.
Jonathan could.
Oh wait, I'm sure we have.
Oh, Taft?
Back in the days.
Taft
was bearded. Bring that back.
Well, half of them had wigs, right? So maybe they were already bald. but
Listen, here's the difference between the two of them.
Yes.
You may completely disagree with Bernie Sanders, but you go fact check his facts when he says something and when he makes a speech, and they check out. You may agree or disagree with Donald Trump, and you may be able to say that his central point is truthful or not, but you go check all the other things that he says surrounding that point, and they don't check out. So Donald Trump is very good at pretending to be telling the truth. Bernie Sanders does tell the truth. That's why he's the most honest guy in Washington.
But it's the anger. That's
oh
the
no,
key.
I agree.
It's stepping up to the plate, and they'll just say it, and they get that anger.
Isn't that a shame? You're right, but isn't that a shame that what so much of the country's reaction to is anger?
It's a shame, except it's refreshing.
Anger is refreshing?
No, it's refreshing.
We've got anger every day in politics.
We got politicians who stand up there and hum till you can't stand to listen to them.
I agree with that, but the answer is not people who just take advantage of angry Americans.
But here's the difference. What you talk about, we have anger every day in politics. That's fake anger. That's politicians ginning up something to be angry.
You think Donald Trump's anger is real? Are you serious?
No, not Donald Trump, but I think what the American people are angry about is real. And that's where they're keying in on what they're angry about. They're not just creating problems to make people angry.
I hear that, and I do agree that a segment of the American public is angry. Right. But as I said, one of these candidates is addressing that anger legitimately. One of them is taking advantage of that anger, in my opinion, illegitimately.
And one's a socialist.
And you talked about Bill early days.
The one who's taking advantage of it legitimately is a socialist.
Bill, you talked about early days and went back and looked. And at this stage of other campaigns, Ross Perot once led. All right, and he is an independent candidate. Didn't come from any party.
It's a different world now.
It's a different world.
Can't get in.
Well, then Howard Dean, though, 2004.
He wasn't an independent.
No, he wasn't. No, he's a Democrat. I get it. But I'm saying that he was also leading at this stage as well.
Yeah,
and he was a very different kind of politician. So what ultimately brings these guys down? In other words, what brought Perot down, what brought Dean down, what would bring Trump down or Sanders?
Yes. It's the power of the party. Well, no, I think it's also the power of the party leadership. I don't think the leadership, like Jonathan alluded to, has any interest in anybody like a Bernie Sanders or a Donald Trump.
Neither of these candidates have been subjected to heavy vetting because nobody in the media believes they can win. Were one of these two candidates, be it Trump or be it Bernie, to actually begin to look like a winner, that's what brings them down, because then you start to find out the real deal.
Okay, that'll be the last word on that. Is Donald Trump your candidate? Go to newsmaxpolls.com and cast your vote. Up next, it's potluck time. Do not go anywhere.
When you have something small and detailed to do, you squint, hold it close, and still can't see. And with a magnifying glass, you're not hands-free. What you need is Big Vision, the magnifying eyewear that makes everything 160% bigger and clearer. Look, you could hold a magnifying glass with one hand and try to work with the other. Oh, brother. But Big Vision brings the power of a magnifying glass to the place you really need it, your eyes, so you can work with both hands. Big Visions are not reading glasses, but hands-free magnifying eyewear that helps you enlarge even the tiniest details. Now work on crafts up close. Inspect stamps and coins like a pro. Even the smallest print is 160% bigger with Big Vision. Big Vision is truly a lifesaver for removing a splinter or clipping your child's fingernails. Let Big Vision help you repair intricate jewelry, solder a circuit board, or discover the secrets of an old photo. Big Vision can be comfortably worn over prescription glasses or contacts. You see all the details without painful straining and squinting. And there's no prescription needed.
It's very clear. It's amazing.
They do not make glasses that do this. It's like high definition.
Oh, wow. It went right in there. That is amazing. I mean, that was fast, too.
It's perfect for magnifying small print on medications, enlarging pictures and text on your smartphone, or remote controls. Similar eyewear sells for as much as $150, but you can order now to get Big Vision with cleaning and storage case for just $19.99. But hang on, to shine some light on your favorite projects, we'll include this clip-on LED light free. And to make this offer really clear, we're going to double the offer free. Just pay processing and handling. That's 2 pairs of Big Visions with carry cases and 2 clip-on lights, all for just $19.99. Call or go online now.
To order your Big Vision, you can call 1-800-527-3416, or you can go online to buybigvision.com. Call 1-800-527-3416, or you can go online to buybigvision.com. Order now.
You know, just before retirement, I had that uh-oh moment. It is not a great feeling. I worked hard, I saved money, but then I realized I wasn't going to have enough.
If you're age 62 or older and facing a financial gap, your home's equity could provide greater financial independence. With recent changes to reverse mortgages, it's more important than ever to make a decision based on current facts rather than outdated information. If you think you know everything there is to know about reverse mortgages, the truth is you probably don't.
And I have to admit, I was skeptical at first based on what I thought I knew, but then I realized how misinformed I really was.
Many people are surprised to learn that today's reverse mortgages have been redesigned and can provide greater help to consumers. As a result, they can be an effective option to help fund the retirement you want. Call Reverse Mortgage Funding today for a free copy of Closing the Gap. It has the most current information about new products, including those designed to help you extend your retirement funds or to purchase a new home.
My reverse mortgage gave me the benefits of a home equity line of credit without the monthly loan payments, and they've made the process really easy.
Retirement and retirees have changed, and so have reverse mortgages. You owe it to yourself to see how today's reverse mortgages are meeting the needs of a new retirement generation. To find out how, call Reverse Mortgage Funding now and get the facts.
We based our decision on current information, not hearsay, which was really a smart move for us. It changed our entire retirement outlook.
Call toll-free 1-877-272-3738 for your free copy of Closing the Gap. There's no obligation, so call 1-877-272-3738 today. That's 1-877-272-3738. Loan terms and conditions apply. Visit reverseminded.com for details.
Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? We choose to go to the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And welcome back to Daily Wrap. It's potluck time, part of the show. We go around the table, share our favorite stories of the day. If you're wearing a red tie, you get to go first.
All
Tucker,
right.
that's pinkish.
Yeah, it's kind of
pinkish red.
So, what is it? Vineyards?
Vineyard Vines.
Vineyard Vines.
Look
Yes.
at you
The
all,
leisure chairs. Well, it's the
GOP
beach chair.
uppities.
Yeah.
I knew you were a country club Republican.
He's going to Nantucket after this. He actually has a boat waiting out front. Good for you.
My potluck's really very short tonight because yesterday I got into this discussion with a couple of friends of mine. I came across a fact, and here's the question to you guys. Are you aware that the new stadium being built by the Minnesota Vikings is going to cost roughly $1 billion? Maybe a little bit more than that. The flight to Pluto that's given us all these really cool pictures and amazing scientific discoveries and revelations cost about $750 million. So my question to the panel is, are our priorities skewed? I love football. I watch it every weekend. I am a football. I can't wait for it to start again. But if we're willing to spend $1 billion on a football stadium and only $750 million on a trip to Pluto, is something wrong?
Can you play football on Pluto? No.
No.
Did you see that planet?
Yes, I have. But here's
it's like
the
the old
question.
municipal stadium. In this
What is the projected economic return?
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Of building
you
the
can
billion-dollar
monetize a stadium. That's precisely the problem. You can monetize a stadium. You can't monetize scientific research right away.
Well, that kind of
but
answers the
scientific
question.
research has always moved us forward
I
in
agree.
terms of progression and where we're going.
I
as people.
agree. So look at it. You'd actually have to do a calculation of net worth and all that stuff,
Well,
present value.
I have a
Because that
son, I have a
billion may
son-in-law
return
who is
money
a
very quickly.
mathematician who was a physicist who
Right.
could probably do the mathematical calculation for us. But
that $1 billion stadium is probably going to bring more money into that community, probably, than the $750 million is going to pay off for us in the near future.
And I can
Maybe
jump
long-term
on that.
it will.
So they wanted to build an outdoor stadium, but then they saw that financially, they put the money up front now to build a dome, and they can get Final Fours in there, and they could get everything in there that normally, if you have an outdoor stadium, you're confined to football, right?
the
Concerts.
construction of that stadium has vaulted that team into one of the top 50 most valuable sports teams in the world.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
but
built yet.
that doesn't go to the benefit of the people who may have paid for it. Was the taxpayer paid for?
Yeah.
All right. So the vaulting
Well,
it
don't
into
forget. Remember, this was something.
well, but
a
yeah,
whole
but
threat.
you have to make a
Legislative
separation
threat.
because the owner of the team is going to benefit from it becoming worth more.
Ziggy
But
Balls.
the community will benefit if it improves the economy around it and everything else.
There's a big but. There's a big but around the whole roof thing.
Right.
All right. So Minnesota went to 4 Super Bowls when they played outdoors at the old municipal stadium because it was such an advantage. It was like the Packers. You go there in January, you will lose. Then they go to a dome and they become soft and they can't even get back to a Super Bowl. So the fans were saying, please build an outdoor stadium. We don't care about the cold.
I don't believe that's myth.
What do you mean myth?
It's myth. Teams win when they're the best team.
I guess.
And more teams that have won have been outdoor teams.
Yeah, the dome teams, they put
There's
themselves at
a cause and
disadvantage.
effect in there somewhere.
Tell
Oh,
that
we'll
to,
make one up.
Isn't New England an indoor stadium?
No, it's
is it
outdoors.
outdoor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm starting to change my
The
mind.
Dolphins go up there, they're screwed.
What about Seattle?
Seattle's outdoors.
It has a dome, the Seattle Dome.
No, it's not. No, you're thinking of the Kingdom.
Really?
That went away like 30 years ago.
As usual.
Good night, everybody.
I'm absolutely wrong.
Stick to politics, Unger.
to politics.
And Ohio State football. That you do know. Okay.
That's outdoors.
That's outdoors. Yes, we know that. Okay, it's my turn, and we'll be quick. So there's this whole thing going on between Donald Trump and Lawrence O'Donnell. He's a host on MSNBC Primetime, where Trump said, you know what, Lawrence, you're going to keep calling me a liar about my salary and what I earn. I'll bet you a year of your salary if you if I prove you're wrong. Right, and then Trump releases his releases how much he's worth, and then O'Donnell goes nuts and says, "No, you don't make that much money on The Apprentice." But then, out of nowhere, decided to apologize last night and said, "Maybe I was wrong." But here is the thing: here's why he didn't take the bet from Trump. Roll it.
Now, where I come from, no one settled their disagreements with bets because none of us had any money to bet. So No, Donald, there won't be any bet because I would never bet about anything. I just don't bet, period. And I don't want to be in a story about Donald Trump. I want to cover this campaign.
So he says, where I come from, nobody bet because nobody had money. Let me tell you about Lawrence O'Donnell, all right? He grew up in Boston. His dad was a powerful attorney. Last I checked, attorneys make a little bit of money.
They make a living.
Yeah, and then he goes to Harvard, not on a scholarship. I think that cost some money to go to. He's now worth $12 million. And he plays this whole, you know, where I come from, my poor upbringing, I can't bet.
He's right.
Stop it.
Rick's an attorney. He'll tell you this. He's never bet on anything.
Rick's also rich. I didn't make it as an attorney, believe me. But it's a fascinating thing with Lawrence O'Donnell. I know you guys are big MSNBC watchers, right?
Huge.
Lawrence O'Donnell is possibly the smartest guy on that network. But I could never watch him because of his arrogance. It's really troublesome. But he was very, 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 he was in a terrible accident about less than a year ago.
Yeah, in the British Virgin Islands.
And it changed him dramatically. And now he's kind of caught between the Lawrence O'Donnell of old
Crazy Larry.
and this newer, mellower guy.
Wow.
And he goes back and forth.
Yeah, either way. Okay. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Yay or nay is next. This is the Daily Wrap.
Did you know criminals use scanners like this to steal credit card information right out of thin air? It's called skimming, and it can happen anywhere to anyone, including you. But now these wireless pickpockets can be stopped with CardLock. It's like a portable bank vault for your credit cards. Simply slide your credit or debit card into CardLock, then put it back in your wallet. Now it's virtually impossible for anyone to steal your information. Look, thieves can scan your bank information from your purse or pocket when you walk by. It takes just a second to get your name, address, social security number, and more. Then they can steal your identity, ruin your credit, even empty your bank account. But slip your credit cards into CardLock, and it protects you from credit card fraud and identity theft. Frequency blocking polymers are woven right into the threads of the CardLock. They're light as a feather and soft as silk, yet strong and secure, like an armored car for your card, and they fit easily in your purse. Watch, without CardLock, my credit card number is easily read. There it is. But when I slide it in CardLock, the number is blocked. It really works.
I had my identity stolen, and it took years to fix my credit. If I had just used CardBlock, it would have saved me the nightmare.
My credit card was scanned and they charged me over $1,000 that day. It's just so easy to prevent with CardLock, you'd be a fool not to.
Don't be a willing victim when it's so easy to stop with CardLock. Call and get 2 CardLocks for just $10, each made in the USA with our stylish leather look. But wait, order now and we'll send you 2 more absolutely free. And there's more. All of today's orders get shipped to you for free. That's right, free shipping and handling. Get CardLock for just $10. Call now.
Call 1-800-695-0683 to get your CardLock security sleeves. They're not sold in stores, so call now or go to getcardlock.com. So call 1-800-695-0683. That's 1-800-695-0683. Don't miss out. Call now.
This is an important medical announcement for those prescribed the prescription blood thinner medication Xarelto. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died from serious internal bleeding, including bleeding of the brain or gastrointestinal system after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call Xarelto Help Now for a free confidential consultation. Time may be limited to file a claim, so don't delay. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. Xarelto has been linked to an increased risk of severe internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, stroke, heart attack, and even death. If you or a loved one experience severe internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died as a result of taking Xarelto, call Xarelto Help Now. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. Get the help you deserve. You won't pay a thing until your case is settled. Call Xarelto Help Now today.
Please call 800-390-0510. That is 800.
Do you own mutual funds? You may be paying fees and costs of up to 5% and not even know it. Fisher Investments isn't a mutual fund, and we don't have hidden fees. Do you own an annuity? Your broker may have made a commission of 8% or more when he sold it to you. Are you sure he had your best interests in mind? At Fisher Investments, we're not brokers, and we don't earn commissions on trades or by selling you products. With our model, as your portfolio grows, we grow.
To learn more about the Fisher Investments difference, call the number on your screen now. We'll send you our free DVD, Investing Secrets for 2015, and our special report, The 8 Biggest Mistakes Investors Make. Plus, call us today and get a free 1-year subscription to Fisher Investments Stock Market Outlook with insights from our company founder and respected market forecaster, Ken Fisher. Be prepared in 2015. Call now 1-800-780-3800. 1-800-780-3800.
Welcome back to the wrap. It's time for Yay or Nay, as the music shows. The Huffington Post is changing the way it reports on Donald Trump's presidential campaign, moving it from their political section to their entertainment section. The news aggregator reported today that, quote, after watching and listening to Donald Trump since he announced his candidacy for president, we have decided we won't report on Trump's campaign as part of our Huffington Post political coverage. Instead, we will cover his campaign as part of our entertainment section. Our reason is simple. Trump's campaign is a sideshow. We won't take the bait. If you are interested in what the Donald has to say, you'll have to find it next to our stories on the Kardashians and the Bachelorette. A sideshow. Harsh words from the Huffington Post there. Is this an act of journalistic integrity, or is it all political, or is it just stupid, Rick Unger?
It is incredibly stupid. It's a number of things. Now, everybody knows I'm not the Donald's biggest fan, but you know what? He is leading the Republican primaries right now. It is wrong on the part of Huffington Post. More fascinating to me, you all know, or you may not know, I wrote an article this past week where I talked about how the right wing is now buying into Saul Alinsky. The Donald's doing it more than anybody, and the Huffington Post just played right into his hands. He could not have asked for a better result. They should be ashamed of themselves. What they're doing is they may think it's cute. I think it's outrageous.
Jonathan, you're an avid reader. What do you think?
Well, you know, I think that anything somebody does like this, Donald Trump turns it to his advantage.
Absolutely.
And he's going to use this to promote himself and the stupidity of, you know, my friend
media.
Rick Unger,
Right.
you know,
Liberal media.
not included, but liberals and the liberal media. You know, that's what Donald Trump does. I'm checking the sides of my mouth while I say that, make sure I don't have anything in there with Donald Trump. But which was, I gotta say this real quick. Of all the people, I can't believe when Donald Trump got out there and gave that speech. For one, it was so comic, fake. It was almost like it was written for a show. But how could his people who handle him not made sure that everything was taken care of for him?
Right. His wife was there too. That's the type of thing she should check right before that happens. Interesting point there, Bill.
It's a nay. It's stupid. And I want to know, where do they draw the line? Because aren't all politics entertainment?
It's profoundly
wrong.
Right. It's called political theater.
Exactly.
It's not cute. It's profoundly wrong. And you know, I read them every day. They're not going to be the same to me anymore.
But they have great videos of puppies and cats.
Yes, they do.
The car service app Uber is attacking New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio over his plans to place a cap on the company's growth. Now, when you open the app, there's a new tab at the bottom of the screen where you choose what service you want that says de Blasio. And if you just select the de Blasio tab, it either tells you that you have to wait 25 minutes or there are no cars at all, with the explanation that this is how the app will be if de Blasio's cap passes. Is there a more mature way to handle this, or is this genius marketing, Bill Tucker?
This is genius marketing. It's perfect. Totally agree.
Are you an Uber guy?
I use Uber sometimes, except when they charge an arm and a leg at peak hours. But yeah, listen, I'm no fan of the communist mayor of New York. And if you really want to stop him, you have to create a time machine. Go back when he was supporting the communists in Nicaragua and take him out there.
Yeah.
Free market, Rick.
It's absolutely. I agree. It's absolutely brilliant on Uber's part to do that. De Blasio is flat out wrong. Anybody who has ever ridden in a New York cab understands why you might want to hire an Uber car instead.
Yes.
When the cab cabbies decide that they're going to give us cars that we can fit into in the back and have people driving it who don't talk on the phone while they're getting into car accidents, then maybe we'll start using the cabs again.
All right, we're all yay on that. Earlier this week, we told you about a crack team of investigators who discovered Governor Scott Walker's campaign logo looked eerily similar to America's Best Contacts and Lenses logo. Well, the team over at The Tonight Show found that the Wisconsin governor also likes to steal from his own speeches, especially the parts about Kohl's.
The other big political news this week is that Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker became the 15th Republican to announce his candidacy for president. Of course, like all candidates, he spends a lot of time talking about the budget and immigration, but there's something else that he always seems to talk about.
I went to Kohl's department stores near our house, and I bought something at the price it was marked at. So now I know over the years, if I'm going to buy a shirt, it was $29.99, I go to the rack that says and now it's $19.99. I remember to get the flyer out that we got mailed in our house. Where you get 15 or 20, or if you're really lucky, 30% off.
I think you get the point. Steve Malzberg is next. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.